Nu-Yên-Khê, who was the artistic director and costume designer on the film.
Thank you.
Thank you both for this beautiful film. I'll start off with a few questions. I know you're pressed for time. You have to make it to another screening downtown, but if there's time, we'll open it up to the audience. But I alluded to in my introduction that The Taste of Things is, I think, so much more than a culinary film, though I'd say it's already considered, I think, one of the great food films, but that it's also this long gestating romance story. It is about the joy of making and sharing art. So I guess I just want to start with a simple question, which is really what the center of this film, or the start of this film was for you. I know that the film takes as its basis a novel by Marcel Ruff, though this film is not quite a straight adaptation. So maybe you can start by sharing how you came to this text and what about it made you want to work with it, and I guess in some ways against it.
Yes, I like some pages in the book, but not the story told in the book. So I prefer to tell the story that comes before the book, and because somehow Nu-Yên-Khê and I, we know each other for a very long time. We live together, we work together. So somehow I wanted to do something about this, in this story, and of two people who, have a very long-lasting love together, and we work together. So it was quite a challenge for me because marital love, it needs to be interesting, So the idea is to do something that would bring the feeling of harmony, because harmony is quite rare in cinema, in films. So yes, it was a good, starting point for me to make this movie.
Nu-Yên-Khê, did you know the film would be dedicated to you?
No, at all. He was able to hide it the last minute I discovered it. And I was very moved. No idea, no. I think that it's very difficult indeed to do a film without any conflicts, without, it's not a rising love, it's not a separation, it's just, simple, love, and daily love. And I think that is, it's quite a challenge, because then when I read the script was very thin, and it was very difficult, for a lot of people to figure out how the film would be based in a script like this, thin like this, especially for the first scene that lasts, I don't know, 15 minutes?
No, not that much.
Very long. It was like one page.
Yes, that's why it was difficult to, to find the money for the movie. It took me something like 3 years, plus 2 years of COVID. Then it was 5. Yes, 5 in total.
No,
so
7 total.
Yes. Yes, it was difficult, but there was a lot of challenges in this movie. How to film the cooking scenes. It was quite complex because I decided to split in 3 long shots of the cooking scene at the beginning, and it was quite complex because I wanted to bring the feeling of harmony to the audience. So it needs to look like a ballet with spoons and knife, and it was really complex because when you have a long take of a state of the dish, and then you move to another dish. It needs to be the right state of you know, the cooking of the other dish. So it was quite complex, and all these camera movement mixed with the movement of the actors in the kitchen. It was really difficult,
So,
but,
yeah,
but enjoyable to do.
I'm curious to go back to okay, you mentioned the script being sort of thinner, and you're mentioning capturing this essence of harmony and this ephemerality of food, and I think there's so much that can be said about how you capture the movement, the textures, the sounds of cooking and tasting in this film, and I think so much of that comes from the cohesiveness of your compositions, your art direction, the costuming, how you move the camera. Meals are never just, I think, in this film, like a beautiful still life. You really do, with all of these elements, evoke our senses and like immerse us in this place. And so I'm just curious, just early on, as you were discussing this film with each other, about the look and the feel of this film, what qualities about food, about cooking were at the top of your mind, or maybe another way of asking this question is what qualities of food and cooking do you feel, or did you feel other films about the culinary arts left out?
I think it's much more simple than that. I mean, I did my part and she did her part, you know, and we don't talk, we don't discuss, because no conflict, you know, we try to avoid it. And so what I always ask the people who work with me, give me the skin, because the cinema is an art of the incarnation. You put ideas in the body of the actors. So I need to see the skin really vivid on the screen. So I just ask for that. If you have the skin, then you have everything. If the light is right for the skin, then it's right for the food, for everything. And for the rest, the composition, everything that you see, all the elements in the picture, it belongs to Yen-Khê.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I mean, yes, we don't talk. Really, so I think we didn't have time to talk in this movie, because the preparation for the movie, we only had 25 days. 20 days for the creation of the costumes, 30 days for filming, so we didn't have time to talk, really. I just work with my team, so I have the vision, the global vision, you know, of what I think would be the best to express the emotion and the feelings that who wants to put in the scene. And so I work with the colors, textures, and I think that just in order to give the audience a kind of emotional impact only with the image. And I think that is what I really want to work with home for the pictures, because it's cinema, so it's visual. So it has to be an impact. It has to give you a taste of something when you see an image. And I'm working in this way, you know, to make it sensual and interesting for your eyes. And the most important thing is to do it right, because when it's right, it could be beautiful. Otherwise, it's just decorative, and it's decorative. It's not just. And it's not what we like.
But I think you did it right. I guess I want to maybe hear a little bit more about just the menu in this film. I know you worked with the very well-known Pierre Gagnère and Michel Mauve as sort of the culinary advisors. So I'm wondering if you can just talk about how that collaboration started for you, and what that looked like before you started shooting the film and what that also, how that played out practically on set.
Yes, I came with the menu for the movie, and Pierre reviewed it, and we talked. I told him that I would like to see something interesting on the screen, and I would like to have a sense of something sophisticated, and also to reveal also something from the period. For instance, we chose the Big Alaska because of this tool to make ice, ice cream. So that kind of thing, you know, and all these ideas, because it needs to be interesting even for me. This is how we work. And then when we had the menu, he cooked for me for 5 days, and so I can see how everything works. And by seeing him cooking, it looks so simple. There is nothing that is sophisticated in the way he uses his hands, in the way he uses a knife. He cut everything like you and me. We can cut it, you know. There is nothing special in there. So this was this gave me the spirit of the cooking scene in the movie. I take out everything that looks, you know, like a very professional or something like that. And so it became very natural and very real. That was the spirit of the cooking scene.
And the actors are actually doing the cooking too. I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that, like the two other distinct ingredients.
They cook in real life, so they wanted to do everything by themselves. Of course, I had to have doubles for the hands for Benoit and Juliette, but we never used them because Benoit and Juliette, they want to do everything, you know, by themselves. So it was quite amazing because they knew the expressivity of their hands. They knew how to use the hands so that it has this expressivity on the screen. I think it's more beautiful than the actual hands of a cook, you know, because the way they touch things and they return a piece of meat, things is really something quite expressive on the screen.
Can you say more about just working with Juliette and Benoit? I mean, they themselves share this long history behind the camera as a former couple, and having not worked together in probably more than 20 years. Yeah, can you say a little bit about how you approached them with this film?
Exactly. In fact, they worked together 20 years ago. When they split, it was in very bad terms, and they never worked together again. So it was a little bit, I was a bit anxious about the idea of working together. So Juliette was there from the beginning. When I told her that I would like to have Benoit, she said that it's not a good idea. She thought also that we she would refuse the role. He would refuse. But then I had to wait until the end of the process because Juliette was not happy with this idea. So I went to see Benoit without telling her, and I gave him the script, and I said, Juliette is in it, please tell me if you would like to be part of it. And the next day he called me and said, I'm in. So I called her, I said, you know, he accepted. And she said, really? She was really surprised, and she said that it's going to be very difficult to work with him. And I said, how difficult? She said, you will see. So the first day was difficult. It was, yes, quite difficult. But then after a week, it it became really, you know, the chemistry between them was so amazing. And then there was two things happening during the shooting of the movie. One was the moment where you see both of them walking in the middle, talking about the summer and autumn, and suddenly she turned around and kissed him. When I said cut, he ran to me and he asked me if I asked her to kiss him, because it was not written in the script. I said no, it was her decision, because she's the character, and you know, as well as me, that you know, you feel something, then you do, you know. And he said, okay, but then now for the next take, will she kiss me? I said, I don't know. You know? And the other scene where something like that happened was the ending scene. It's a very complex scene, because we have to you know, to change the set, and the light is changing everything in direct. So it was a big mess. Everybody was running everywhere all the time, and so it was difficult. So we missed 2 or 3 first takes, and then we come to them. Finally, everything was fine with the set and the light, everything. We arrive on them, and they talk, and we have this question from Eugénie, and the answer was my cook, and he added, and my wife. I said, Benoit, you changed the meaning of the ending. You know, you have to come back to the you know, to the script. And he come to me and with a low voice, so that Juliette cannot hear. He said, sorry, Hùng, I was lost in her eyes. He said,
I wish we could keep going, but we're getting the wrap it up sign that you
okay.
give someone else, but